Next, speaking of retard streamers, Hasan Piker, who is the nephew, I've been corrected this many times, the nephew of Cenk Yogurt, has said that his job as a streamer is harder than an actual labor job.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will. So
You see that silence?
So
that's him. Does this fucking Turk chew gum into the microphone while streaming? He's chewing gum. He's chewing gum into the microphone, and people voluntarily listen to this. The only fucking way you could get me to choose to sit down and listen to a fucking Turk roach chew gum into the microphone is if the alternative is having my fingernails ripped out. What the fuck? This guy does not give a shit about his audience. Not a single fuck about his audience. Chewing makes you look cool. Yeah, I love this fucking cow, this fucking Turk roach hamburger ready to be slaughtered and turned into processed meat, just chewing his cud. Yeah, man, I ain't got no soul anymore because I have to stream on Twitch. Nigga, you ain't had no soul to lose. They don't give souls south of Constantinople. Those things are simply not delivered down there. Anyways, that silence is great because that's him reading his responses and thinking like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to backtrack this immediately. People made fun of it as they do. Let's read this. Juju, not to be confused with Juju the cow, a man who gets fucked in the ass, says, imagine being so out of touch with reality that you think talking at your computer is harder than a real job. Hasan replies saying, these people farm the stupid people on Twitter for $3 in Twitter ad rev with clips like this. Of course, I don't think Twitch streaming is harder than a real job, you dumb fuck. It is, however, better than whatever the fuck y'all are trying to do with this increasingly more dog shit website. I got 12,000 likes. Is he really that popular? How many Hasan a B or Hasan the Hunt? That's such a cringe name. Because he thinks he's like a Mongolian conqueror or something. 1.4 million followers. 1.4 million followers listening to a soulless Turk roach hamburger chewing into the microphone. What the fuck? I can't believe that. Juju actually replies and says, your dad is a multimillionaire and you believe in socialism. You live in a $5 million mansion and own supercars while preaching capitalism is bad. Everything about you is hypocritical and your whole fan base is mindless Americans that can't think for themselves. And then he complains because everyone's making fun of him. He says, Twitter is just straight up 4chan now. So many people's brains are cooked. One day we will study its impact on a generation of school shooters who grew up here on Reddit, but it will be too late. Yeah, as opposed to the fucking generation of serial killers that are cutting their dicks and tits off right now. Crazy. I think that what he's probably going for, and this is something I've talked about a couple times, and I have a vague notion of what he's trying to say. I'm not defending him because it is definitely harder to work like a real job than it is to stream. I think what he's trying to express is that when you put yourself out there and you have to deal with all these people who hate you just because you're like a public figure, and obviously if you say anything on the internet, people are going to hate you for it. Doesn't matter what it is. That's like the downside. Like that's a major reason why a lot of people don't want to be like streamers, is because anything you make public like that is going to be a pain in the ass to deal with when you have to deal with like the general public. Like there are people, like there's like a couple dozen people out there who literally just sit around and try to think of ways to like ruin my life. Like they just like that's what they do for fun. They just sit there and they think, God, I hate this Josh guy, and I hate everybody who likes Josh, and I hate everybody who helps Josh. How do we ruin these people? Because I don't like Josh. And that's it. That's like their fun, as they sit around and think about that. And that is a bit like draining, but it's not soul crushing. Like Whataburger is soul crushing. It's definitely more of a creative prospect than Whataburger. I'm fine with him hating me. Yeah, I mean, you make peace with it. I remember when I first started hosting the forum, I was really afraid of being doxxed because I had never in my life had to deal with people like taking my pictures and like photoshopping them, and I was really unsure of how that would affect me because I just couldn't imagine it. Like all the edits of people that people made of like Chris Chan and Moleman 9000, who was popular at the time, and I was thinking like, could I like deal with that? And then when it happened and people did it, I didn't care at all, and I was really surprised by that. I really thought that it would bother me more than it did. Like I don't know why. I guess I'm just emotionally detached from everything. It doesn't. It's just like I was really surprised by how I think that the fear of certain things relating to being doxxed is worse than dealing with it by itself. You know what I mean? Like when you're anonymous, you don't have to deal with bullshit, and you're afraid that when you do, it'll be like an insurmountable thing. And I guess depending on your reaction, your viewpoint, it could be, but um, yeah, it wasn't so bad. But I imagine it with Hasan, like he's got 1.4 million people that follow him. You know, he's got like tens of thousands of people who watch him. So anytime he says anything, it's going to be torn to shreds. And if he says one dumb thing, like it goes really viral, and you have thousands of people making fun of him, like hundreds of thousands of people laughing at him for being a retard. I imagine that is a bit difficult. Hassan Piker. I'm gonna. Oh yeah. Then you have to worry about Sam Hyde coming to your house in real life and killing you. That's scary. Hassan probably has. I guarantee you, Hassan has like full security details. He pays out of pocket for private security because literally at any time, Sam Hyde could pop out of the bush and start screaming at him in an Irish accent, and on camera, and he would look like a bitch. So he's got to have some big beefy dudes from LA walking around him all the time. No, in real life.
Thanks for watching this clip. This is Willow. Remember to like and subscribe.